this time. She officially has her new house.
Yes.
We've got her back.
So consuming moving.
Yeah, it's high on the stress points.
Yes. More than I thought.
So Lindsay and I are twisting it up today, and we're going to go really self-development-y on you, and which is removing the toxicity from your life and call into attention with you guys what's in attention with us right now. And this last couple weeks has been really calling us to look at our worth, the feelings we have about our own worth in our life, what we're doing, and then with our products. When we go to sell something, we're attaching our own personal worth to a solution we're providing. And so, of course, it's bringing up a lot. And for me, I have these self-sabotaging voices that come in when people are around or afterwards. I always question, should I have said that? Shouldn't I have said this? Or should I have done this? And really opening that and loving ourselves.
And if you guys want to hop in and say anything along the way, please do. So for me, it's really owning my voice. And for both of us, I love being in business with you because we have like the same themes in our life that come up kind of synchronistically. And so being conscious business owners, we're able to kind of work through them together and give each other grace when we're not feeling the best instead of just like that hardcore masculine way of doing business, which nothing is wrong with that, just for us personally. And for me, it's really owning my voice. If you follow astrology at all, I'm a Taurus, and our weak points are our throats. And so anytime I get sick, it's always my throat, and I've always struggled with really owning my voice and speaking my truth. And anytime I want to say something that's hard to say, or if it's like standing my ground and taking up space, I feel this lump in my throat. Like I can't express that or get that out. So together Sara has given me the space. Like if you need to say something, just say it, and providing the safe, sacred space for me, which I appreciate so much.
Makes me emotional. Hi, sister. We've got you both are awesome. Jen, owning your worth. I would love, and Brittany, if you guys have any thoughts about owning your worth, ping it, send it in. What do you do to own your worth? What's coming up for you on your feelings of worthiness? Because we all have it. Like when we're out and about and in life, we attach things to us personally. Oh, that must be about my worth. And it does really help to have really good relationships in your life who help to remind you. So even though we give each other grace, we also put fire underneath our butts when we're feeling off track. And
in a loving way.
One of the best ways is exposure therapy. So for Lindsay, she just got here today and she's ready to mix and get down to business and to deliver to some stores. And I was like, you're not on camera. And I was like, yeah. She said, can we record it first and then go live? And I was like, no, we got to exposure therapy you and just bang, put you out there. Yeah, because obviously I have a really easy way of talking, so that's not really how I'm getting my voice out. But so we're here with you guys and being vulnerable along our process and holding the hand with you in that sacred space of helping you to own your worth with us as we do it. And I think this goes for men too, but especially women have it ingrained in our DNA. We are passed down from generation to generation. If we're not liked, it means exile. It means death. It means not having your needs provided for. If you're not pretty enough, or if you talk too much, if you don't talk enough. So we literally go into fight or flight when people don't like us. And there's a lot of shame and guilt behind our worth and what that means. For me, it's a lot on, I always felt like my looks are my worth. And if I'm not pretty, then I don't have worth. And that's just really silly, because I see a lot of people where beauty is not necessarily there in a magazine way. and I find them so attractive, and I see their worth to the moon and back. So it's a story I'm telling myself. My sister, Jen, says, believing in myself, looking back at my accomplishments, and most importantly, loving myself.
That's beautiful. I love that.
So what are we doing to help remind ourselves of our worth? What are we saying to ourselves? Vicky said to me recently, I said, gosh, Vicky, every time I leave, I just was hanging out with President-elects. What? It was so cool. I won't go into politics, even though you guys probably know when you see my page, but I immediately after I got a picture with one of my superheroes, I looked at myself and I judged myself. And then I left and I thought, I was hanging out with one of the ex-dean of Stanford and New York Times, CNN, there was so many people doing amazing things. And I immediately was like, I should have said this, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have held that sign because who handed it to me? All these things were coming up, and I told Vicky and she laughed and she said, that's how you know you did something really good. It's like ego's way of dying. It doesn't want to die in us when we're transforming and transitioning. And if you think about birth, transition is the time where it's most uncomfortable. We women know this. And that's what happens when our growth comes. It's really uncomfortable to do something brave, but we're always practicing something. So what are you practicing? And moving into that braveness, owning your voice, showing up and getting on video when you don't know you're getting on video in your hat hair day, and owning your worth, because we all are here to teach and to do and to love and to serve and to connect, and we're all worthy. All of us.
All of us. We're all created by the same creator. What I like to remind myself is if I'm not feeling worthy or if I'm having challenges that day, I tell myself it's safe to take up space. It's safe to take up space. And I look at myself in the way that I look at my children. My children, I would never condemn them for speaking their truth or make them feel bad or ridicule them the way that I have done to myself, like looking in the mirror and the times I've been hard on myself, or how hard we are on ourselves, speaking to ourselves. So I give myself that grace and almost look at myself like a little child. It's okay to take up space. It's okay. It's safe to speak your truth. Do it right now. And I remind myself that it's an ongoing practice for me daily. And I have one of my life lessons, I believe, is learning how to really own my voice and really speak my truth. And so I have had a lot of people in my life with very strong personalities that comes really naturally to them. So it forces me to do that even more and really energetically take up the space of me. It's okay to do that. And that's been great for me, just thinking of myself almost like a small child. And I would do that for my own kids, so why wouldn't I do that for myself?
All right, just thanks to Kirsten. Hi, Kirsten. You're going to see
Kirsten.
this. She is No More's producer, and she's this healing goddess that comes in and hums and sends loving energy to the bottles and puts them together and helps us stay grounded. And she came in and I said, oh, my inner child's coming up and I'm feeling all these feelings and worth and, all these things that are happening in our life right now. And she's like, this is for you. And she pushed play on this inner child work. And I listened to it on my drive to El Paso and back. And I just weeping, and I'm hiking with my friend and he's doing a healing on me. And I'm like, my inner child, my inner child. And it was talking about, talking to our inner child when we have those shaming voices or those shaming thoughts or, just the contracting feeling of energy within our body. Talk to your inner child. Oh, Sarah, you're such a good girl. Wow, that feels really good to hear. Sarah, you're safe. You're safe. That's why we all really want to know is that we're safe, we're loved, we're heard, we're seen. And talking to that inner child can and absolutely will have a lot of power behind it. Yeah.
And going back, because when we're children or when we have our own children, it's impossible to meet our needs as children or our own children 100%. It's just never, it's not there. So to be able to provide that from a conscious awareness when we're adults to ourself is extremely healing and very powerful. And we're also able to give that to our own children as well.
Because we embody it then.
Yes.
Kids, man, aren't they so receptive, and they like are little sponges for energy. They know when we're not feeling good inside here, they then start having bad behavior. And if you're really tuned into conscious parenting, you will understand that underneath that iceberg is all that stuff that's going on underneath. Kids pick up on us, and when we start being sillier,
I've been working on that.
when we start letting our little inner child out and loving ourselves truly and unconditionally and others, and it doesn't mean accepting bad behavior, because that's not loving ourselves. And you can love others and say this is a boundary, and that is really loving them by not allowing that. So when we do that and we example it to our children, they are, or in the opposite, absorbing whatever we are or aren't. So we can see it in kids, we see it in ourselves, and really owning that is huge. Standing in front of a mirror and repeating, oh no, let me go back up and read. Positive statements about yourself. That's a great idea, Jen. Also practicing positive things to friends and family. Yeah, doesn't that feel so good?
Yeah.
You tell others.
Yes. Louise Hay is big on the mirror work. And I remember the first time I did that, it was so uncomfortable to look myself directly in the eye and be loving towards myself. And that was in my early 20s, so about 10 years ago. And I remember how uncomfortable it was. And isn't that like, it shouldn't be uncomfortable, but that's that disconnect to ourselves and disconnect to source. But we are always connected. We have that within us at all times. Coming back to that and really reminding ourselves we are worthy of love, because that is our true essence at our core.
What I see and feel as you're saying this is that we're all brothers and sisters here. And the Native Americans talk about this a lot when you're out and about, and there's a lot of others that follow this practice, but this is my brother, this is my sister, this is my auntie, this is, my sister in another lifetime. So being kind to each other, that we, especially women, have this, it's a natural safety thing where we like judge other women. It's like supposed to be competition, but we're not here to compete. We're here to love each other and to bring each other up, and, just noticing that in yourself when you may feel that feeling, and then just know that's your safety mechanism, and just send love to that little girl or that little boy again. If you're feeling these feelings, you are here by a miracle that it happened when you study how we even come to be. And you have a divine purpose here, and that is not an accident. And just own that. You're here for a reason, and part of that is really living up to your highest expression, which means owning your worth and whatever special gift you have and meaning here, own that. And if it's just joyful playing, what Wayne Dyer said his wife's job for a while was day maker. She was just there to like try to make people's day, and how effective it was to help lift people up, and how much people really love the coaching. I don't know if you guys can hear that. That's for Caesar Dog. Any of you watching that knows Caesar Dog, Caesar Dog's 17, and that's his hacking noise. Yeah, that's his self-expression. Just getting out his voice and word. Well, I'll let Lindsay close on owning voice and owning your worth, and know that many more of these conversations around the No More Campfire are going to come up with our silly little dances and our funny little puns. And being there with you guys, knowing that we're really vulnerable too, working on our perfectly imperfect selves, and love hearing your feedback, just to make sure out there. So
yes, one thing that comes up quickly is working out and eating healthy. So most people go into working out and eating healthy, they're almost punishing their bodies because they're not accepting or loving their body the way it is currently. Shifting that to I'm eating healthy and moving, whatever that means for you, because I love and honor my body. So that was a big distinction for me that I caught myself in. Like I was like, I can't run enough on the treadmill or lift enough weights to get a healthy body. And I switched it. Now every time I work out, I'm like, I freaking love this. This is fun, and I'm moving my body, and it feels really good, and I'm doing this because I love my body, not because I'm not accepting it.
Ooh.
So that was a worth thing for me, big time. So
That's really huge. Why are you doing what you're doing?
yeah.
Because the motivation of a vain appearance is only going to collapse and restrain you and pull you back. So being very mindful and aware. Yeah, that I will on another talk about that with my makeup addiction, and that I used to be able to not go out without makeup, what I was saying to myself when I was doing it. But we'll save that for another chat on owning our worth. I said that I would do something really brave today on one of our Facebook lives. Getting really silly, and I'm like, this would be a really brave thing to do. I won't tell you the second thing because that's probably way too brave to do. But as I was getting out, I dropped my jumper in the toilet and got dirty toilet water all over me. It's a really silly thing to say. I came out to Lindsay. I was like,
accept you as you are.
I came out. I was like, I'm late because I got dirty toilet water all over myself. All right, love you guys.
Alrighty, guys.
Thank you for everyone that came.
Yes,
Thank you for being in
you.
this group. Mwah. Mwah.
Bye.